So while the silhouette of the new Rift Zone has not changed much, Marin was keen to trickle down some premium construction features, improve the suspension performance and the geometry to create a still very much value-minded trail bike, but one that will provide a lot more fun for a wide range of riders. We took the opportunity while we were out at the Mountain Bike Connection event where Marin was showcasing the new Rift Zone to get the lowdown from Matt, who works for Marin, and really find out what their take on the bike is. Okay, so we're here at Marin. We've got Matt Sippy, he's the mountain bike product manager.
Cheers!
And we've got the brand new Rift Zone. Matt's going to give us a run through of what we can expect with the new bike, and then we're going to take it out into the trails.
All right, welcome Loam Wolf viewers. So we have the all new Rift Zone. It's a 2023 model. It's available in 29, 27.5, or a kids version in 24 or 26 inch wheels. It's a trail bike, so it's a 140 front, 130 rear, 65.5 degree head tube angle, 77 degree seat tube angle, 430 chainstay. Large has a reach of 485, and it is awesome. Go check it out, rip it up. Yeah.
All right. In terms of the improvements that they've made to the frame, they've added SRAM's universal derailleur hanger, they've revised the tubing profiles and the forgings to create a slightly better frame construction, and they've really looked at the protection on offer, especially on the chainstays, and added in rubber protectors to keep things nice and quiet and looking fresh for longer. We're going to focus on the 29er for this video, but many of the key details do carry over between all of the wheel sizes. The 29er is offered in sizes small through extra large. At 6'2", I chose the large, and I do have a slight preference for a shorter bike, so the fit was spot on for me. The key numbers are a 65.5 degree head tube angle, 77 degrees seat tube angle, 430mm chainstays, the 485mm reach that Matt mentioned, paired with a 637mm stack, and there is a 1234 wheelbase to create what is quite a balanced overall geometry. It's around about average in terms of the overall wheelbase for this category, but the reach and the stack are quite large, giving quite a roomy feel when you're on the bike, which kind of inspires a little bit of confidence for the agility that you're given. Marin is offering the 29er Rift Zone in a choice of 3 build specs, 1, 2, and the XR that I tested here. This XR is a top-of-the-line spec, but certainly not a high-end component list. It's all kind of purpose selected to offer you good performance, but without breaking the bank. This XR has, like I said, a fairly kind of well-performing but not flashy build kit on it. So you've got a Marzocchi Z1 fork paired with a Fox Float X performance shock. You've got a Shimano Dior MT420 4-pot brake set and SLX and XT drivetrain with an FSA grid alloy crank. Marin uses their own aluminium rims and cockpit on this, and even includes a really nice stock grip, which is comfortable, which we love to see instead of kind of throwaway stuff that you often get, especially at a bike at this price point. And rounding out the specs, the Trans X dropper and a pair of Maxxis Assegai tyres to give the grip that this bike deserves. It's certainly not a flashy build spec, but it all adds up to some good performance out on the trail, which we'll get onto next. See what this Marin has got. So how does a new Rift Zone ride? And more importantly, does it live up to Marin's claims of being so fun out on the trails? Well, compared to most of the bikes that we get sent to the website, the Rift Zone XR is still a fairly budget level spec. And while that would potentially conjure up notions of not having quite the same level of refined finish, not being quite so dialed, not being quite so pleasant to use, it's not been the case, thankfully. All the spec has been chosen, I think, quite smartly. There's not been any corners cut on it, and more importantly, the frame is pretty damn dialed. It runs quietly. There's good cable routing. It looks good. There's no really rough looking components, no kind of unfinished, unrefined looking edges on it. So I think overall, Marin's done a really good job of creating a budget shredder that is exactly that, a shredder. The most important thing on kind of bike of this sort of style is the balance between its climbing performance and its descending performance. And while you can kind of have a bit of a give and take with the capability versus the climbing performance, I don't think they've really had to do that here too much. They've given it a really nice kind of upright, centered climbing position. They've given it plenty of support in the suspension. And overall, it climbs pretty damn well, until you get to the extra steep stuff when you're kind of in the lowest gear and you're really winching your way up something that is effectively something that you're kind of considering walking. This thing doesn't hold its own quite so well. That short rear end can lead it to sort of end up in the wheelie zone a little bit before some other bikes with slightly longer rear ends can. But that said, up until you get to that point, it is a very pleasant, very competent climber with a nice kind of balance of traction and support and efficiency to make it pleasant all around. The tyre spec that I've been running on it, the Asseguys here, and then the Pirelli Scorpion race tyres that I was running on it back at the Mountain Bike Connection event, haven't been doing it too many favours in terms of rolling speed, but then they do give you the grip for both up and down the hill that I think makes it worthwhile running such aggressive tyres, because when you don't have a huge amount of suspension like you do on the Rift Zone here, you need to rely a little bit more on the natural traction of the rubber as opposed to the suspension, giving you that little bit more compliance, I think. When it gets to the descents, made for fun, kind of puts you in the mind frame that it's just going to be a pure kind of pop play jib machine. And it's not entirely the case. That is certainly its strongest suit, I would say. The way it kind of darts from side to side on the trail, how easy it is to pump and to pop, and it loves to get up onto the back wheel when you want to. It certainly is its strongest suit, but they've managed to deliver that in a way that it's still capable enough for riding regular trail stuff. Here in the Tweed Valley, we've got a lot of wet routes. It's reasonably rough all around, and this thing has taken it all pretty well. You just can't charge it as hard as an enduro bike, but that's what you would expect because it is not one of those. The component spec all around has been pretty good. I did have an issue with the stem that was originally fitted to the bike, which broke, but Marin has assured me that that is a isolated issue. And to be honest, it did just seem like one of those things that was a little bit unfortunate, but otherwise everything has been solid. It's been holding up to plenty of abuse here, and it's been all very pleasant. The suspension is fairly smooth. It's not absolutely full of adjustments, only simple compression and rebound on both fork and shock, but that kind of means that you don't spend quite so much time fussing with the settings. Instead, you just get it to a good ballpark and then make minor tweaks here and there as you need. But overall, it's been very pleasant to use. The gearing is awesome. The brakes, even though they're only the entry-level 4-pots from Shimano, have performed really nicely. And yeah, overall, it's been pretty dialed. And I think Marin have done a really great job at delivering such a high-performing bike in the reasonable kind of price category that it's in. I hope you guys have enjoyed checking out this video on the brand new Marin Rift Zone XR 29er, and I hope you've enjoyed checking out the trails that I've been riding it on. If you guys have enjoyed the video, give us a like, leave us a comment, let us know your thoughts on this category of bike and this bike in particular, and subscribe to the channel to see more awesome content on more awesome bikes like this. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Catch you out on the trails.